Hey guys, Thetcglover here, how you doing today? So today's video is going to be talking about Megatin 2015. The last Megatin, which was obviously Megatin 2014, was like one of my most favorite products ever, right? I literally bought about 15 of them and it wasn't even in a case. I just bought so many of them and I ended up pulling like 4 Exciton Knights and it was amazing. I pulled loads of really good stuff and I just felt like the whole point of a Megatin where it basically goes back to the last year and basically collects all the set and just puts it into one giant set is like really good. I don't know why Konami hadn't done it already. I mean, it just makes so much sense. They don't make profit anymore off these other old packs, so for them to actually put them all into the same tin and then give them to you or give you another chance to get the same cards again, it just makes sense on both ends. So that's why I was really happy when they finally announced this Megatin, you know, and the fact is that they're doing it again is really good. So let's just talk about Megatin 2015. I know it was announced a few weeks ago, but I think it's got a lot of different things you could talk about, and you know, usually on face value there's some information, but then as you go into it a bit more, you start to realize actually there could be some interesting things to take from this. So anyway, Megatin 2015. So the 2014 tin went from Lord of the Tachyon Galaxy all the way up to Legacy of the Valiant. So they had Exciton Knight and it also had Dracosac, which is what were the two main cards that people were trying to get from the tins, because at the time the cards were going for quite a lot of money, so it was really nice to be able to get them in reprint tin form, but in the same rarity as they were when they came out originally. So that was really sweet. So in Megatin 2015, while it's not been confirmed if it follows the same trend as before, it won't have the most recent set, which is for us would be Cross Souls, but it will have Primal Origins, Duelist Alliance, Next Challenges, and Secrets of Eternity. And as we know, that has a hell of a lot of different cards in it. Now, in terms of the decks that you can build with this, basically all of Shadow's except for Anomalilith. I'm not going to say its TCG name because its name annoys me, but there's Shadow's without the Water Shadow, which is basically every single thing. It includes all the Shadow Fusion, the El Shadow Fusion, all of the stuff, you know, Shadow Hound if you want that as well. I think that's in Next Challenges. Shekanaga, Gristle, loads of different cool stuff. So Shadow's is really easy to build with this, and obviously everything's going to be in rare. Of course, if you can just go and get Astral Pack Supers instead of them, then that's cool as well. We've got Cleafort, basically all of Cleafort, because it even comes with Monolith, and all of the Cleaforts from Next Challenges will be in there. All of the expensive Infernoids will also be in there. So if you want to pick up that level 9, I think it's level 9 or 8 from Cross Souls, then the Ultra, you can pick that up as well. But basically you have Harmadic, you also have the one that pops spells and traps. You have Anonku if you want that as well. So there's a whole bunch of really cool stuff in there. We also got Satella Knights, the whole Satella Knight deck is in there, and Diamond and everything. Obviously Telemaeus isn't part of it, but realistically we're going to include that in the arsenal, I suppose, but the card is not really going to fetch more than maybe like £8, you know, $10, not that much. What else we got? Yeah, we got Yanzings, but no Chao Feng, which is obviously going to be which is in Cross Souls. But we do have all of the supers from Duelist Alliance, and we have Baxia, and we have Yazi, we have all that stuff in there, so that's really easy to build if you want, and Creation was kind of expensive, and Yangzing Path was also quite a lot, so hopefully that all gets in there and you'll be able to build the deck quite easily. The second half of Sylvans from Primal Origins, in case you want to build that, although the deck was not that expensive. And of course in Primal Origins also had Madolche and Jelly, which completes the Madolche deck in every single way, so in that regard you can actually build the deck quite cheaply now. But of course Magdalene is still going for quite a lot of money, and that didn't get reprinted in the tins, so you still may have an uphill battle trying to get hold of all the Madolche stuff. And my last thing that I know that may be possible to play with the Megatin 2015 is going to be possibly Burning Abyss. Now this is iffy because I know that in the Megatin 2014 we got Cherub Sprout that is Abyss Balean, which was definitely an exclusive in Lord of the Tachyon Galaxy. So I know that they do put exclusives in there, but they don't put all of the exclusives in there. So I'm not quite sure whether or not we're going to get the Burning Abyss, and if we don't, then we don't, but if we do, then we most likely will get all of them, and that includes Dante, and that includes Virgil, and that includes Malakoda if you want that, and it includes all the little guys, and it includes Fire Lake. If it includes Burning Abyss, it will most likely include everything that you will need to build the deck. Now, that's really great. So the better tin out of the two is going to be Odd Eye's Pendulum Dragon, and that's because it comes with Elder God Norden and it comes with Majesty's Fiend. And the other tin comes with Castle and something else, which is not really that interesting. I think comes with the other Elder God something. It's not as good as Norden. You know, everyone's hoarding the ultra rare instant fusions for this card to turn up and actually make a big splash in the meta, and it's going to really be a pain in the ass to deal with. I'm just going to be siding in Maxi. I'm probably going to be maining Maxi just to deal with it because it gives me a +2. So you know, you may as well do something like that. So you may as well pick up the Odd Eyes Dragon tin, and because of the fact that it's not objectively better because some people might prefer Castor, but I think it's better in my personal opinion. I think it will retain slightly more value over time if you kept it sealed, or if you buy them online you may be able to see a price difference between the two tins, but nothing too much, nothing compared to the Tour Guide tin and the Heliopolis tin back in 2012. That was a huge thing. So yeah. So anything from Primal Origins to Secrets of Eternity of the lowest rarity of those cards, for instance Constellar Diamond in Ultra, or something like Pendulum Dragon in possibly Ultima. I don't know if they'll probably reprint it back in a secret rarity, but there'll be a few other cards as well which have some decent value, but ultimately if you get them in their lowest rarity, if you have them in their lowest rarity, if you can find anyone that will be willing to rarity bump your card for possibly free or for a free trade bait throw in, if you can get hold of the cards that are going to be reprinted in these tins but in a higher rarity, then it's as if you're safe, as if you're above the waterline here. You're not going to drown in the mediocrity and obsoleteness. You're actually going to be able to get above that so that when they do actually reprint Diamond Ore, for example, you will be able to dodge everything. So that's really, really sweet. So if you can do that, then great. Although we don't know what's going to happen until the actual stuff spoils, but we can pretty much assume that everything's going to be lowest rarity that you can get it for, just so that the higher stuff is good. Because I know that I have an Ultimate Rare First Edition Ghost Trick Alucard, and I've noticed that the card retains a lot of value. A lot of people still want it, and I haven't actually traded it off because no one's offered me good, because they're going, oh, it's reprinted in Megatin 2014. I'm like, yes, but this is an Ultimate First Ed Shadow Spectres card that is played a lot, so you know, kind of think about it, you know. Some chase cards will drop. Stuff, as I mentioned again, Diamond kind of went up in value for a little while. Some of the Cleaforts went up, and you know, stuff like this kind of dropped, but it could still be worth a little bit. Monolith might still be a bit. Deneb might still hover at roughly around 15. So even though these cards might drop, an example would be something like Exciton Knight. Exciton Knight dropped a lot when it got reprinted in the Megatins, and everyone was like, oh, Excitons for everyone, everyone gets free Excitons, but it doesn't work like that. Actually what happens is that the card drops and it goes back up, straight back up. Doesn't go back up to the same price, but it does float, it hits the thing and it tanks roughly about 2/3 of the price that it was before. So a lot of people are not justifying $25 for Exciton Knight, but actually that's what it's going for. So if you really want one, you're going to have to either buy some Megatins, which is you're not going to pull one, or you're going to have to splash some money out and go and get an Exciton Knight, even though it got reprinted. So if you pick it up at the right time, you can dodge everything, but if everything goes down and you assume it's going to stay there, then it will screw you over and you won't be able to get hold of these cards. So, and the last thing I want to say is that cards that are needed for their decks but are not in the tin will increase in price. So what I mean by that is that there are a lot of cards which will not be in it, but you'll need it for the deck to work, because there'll be a huge influx of people coming in who will be playing Shadows, right? Because you can pick up the whole Shadow deck for very little now because Constructs shot up in price. You could be able to pick up the whole deck for quite cheap because all the Ultras are going to be easy to get. But lots of people will have them, so that's okay. There'll be cards like Summoner's Art in Cleafort, which obviously got reprinted as a Super in Astral Pack 6, but you will still need to get those cards. So if there's a huge influx of Cleafort players, because now they have all the cards, which for very cheap, you'll now have to go, oh, I've got a whole amount of Summoner Arts in Rare, so now I'll be able to shift them off really easily because there'll be all these people looking for free Summoner's Arts. So you have to think of it that way. If you can get hold of these cards now, then you'll be able to cash in on them after the Megatins come out, because a lot of people will be going, oh, suddenly I want to play this deck, I want to play this deck because I've now pulled half of the deck in a tin, so I may as well just just get the rest of it and then get the Summoner's Arts later, or high rarity Reinforcement of the Army in Tellarknights, or something like Reasoning and Infernoids, because even though that's not that expensive, but that is an example of something that may go up even more because people really need Reasoning at free for Infernoids. And that even might just be stuff like Raiden might go up as well, and Charge of the Light Brigade in Secret, because people do play the Lightsworn engine in Infernoids. So there is a knock-on effect that just goes over and over and over to the next thing. So yeah, so Megatin 2015 is incredibly interesting. I like the implications that it can have on the game, and I'm really hoping that they keep this trend and they keep producing these every year, so that anyone who's falling behind, anyone who's not paying attention to the game for a while, aka me, you can now get back in the game really easily with some really cheap copies of the same rarity of cards that already exist, so that you can actually play the game and not be ridiculed for playing a cheaper version of the deck. So that means that Konami can now push forward, and that means that they can now produce more stuff and they don't have to worry about reprints affecting their profits. So it's really good for everyone. So comment down below your opinions of the Mega Tin 2015 and what you think, and if you're going to buy any of it. I'd like to hear your thoughts on it. And until next time guys, the Thetcglover is out.